Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a bunch of interesting just gadgets, gizmos, and stuff to show you. So let's get into it and check it out. The first one here is from a company called Aurora Knife, and they have the Aurora pen. So this is not to be confused with Aurora Knife and Tool, who makes the truffles. Shout out to Misheard Knife Reviews. This is Aurora Knife, a separate company. And this pen is supposed to have a bunch of features on it. It comes in this cool little tube, which is nice. I dig it. Nice packaging. All right. Now, this pen has a lot of tricks up its sleeve. So this thing back here is, I believe, a bottle opener of some kind. Maybe once you take that out, you can squeeze it under something and crack a bottle. This is a glass breaker that comes out the end. I figured that out because I unscrewed this end, which is a stylus. So you'll see here you have a stylus, which is really nice. And then you can unscrew it, flip this around, tighten this down, and now you have a pen, which is cool. And it takes these very small refills. So, well, you can see here, got a little spring and a tiny refill. They're Lamy refills, which is a European thing, but you can get them here. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, so you can get replacements. I do kind of wish they had included replacements. They had these sort of slots right here. If they would have just put, a replacement in there or something, it would have been cool. But nonetheless, you get a ballpoint pen. Or is it gel? Let me just see. Can't remember off the top of my head. Looks like a ballpoint to me, which is what I prefer. It is a little bit of a chunky boy, but it is titanium, which is nice, and it does other things, which is cool. The stylus is very nice. Let me grab my phone. I can show you here. So you get your phone started up, and, you want to go, I don't know, check Instagram or something. You click that, you can scroll, right? You can tap stuff. I want to share this, copy this, whatever, right? Very cool. It works really well, especially for people with fat fingers like me, where I struggle sometimes with the keyboard. It is nice to have. Now, you can also unscrew this, because I heard something when I was just kind of moving it around. I think I heard it kind of jostle a little bit. It's not really, there's no rattle or anything. They got them in there tight. I don't know. I figured it out somehow. I was just, trying to figure this thing out. You unscrew the stylus, and in here, you have 3 bits, which is nice. I believe there's a magnet at the bottom here, and that allows you to put these in, and it holds them in place, which is really nice. So you have a small Phillips, like a micro-size Phillips, pH 0, and you have a slotted here, 3.5. Then you have a Allen, this is a hex 2 and a hex 1.5. And then you have, of course, your T6 and T8, which is really cool. And then what you can do is take out the glass breaker. I was trying to find the driver. I found these first, and then I'm like, how the heck, where do you put those? I thought for a second they went in here, like this. But they do not. They go in here, which took me a second to figure out, but I did. Just drop that in. Has a magnet in there, so it's not going anywhere. A little bit of movement, but it's not bad. And boom, Bob's your uncle. You got a driver here. Obviously, you can put this back on so that you have more grip, and you can use this as a driver, which is really cool. Very neat. And they do look to be the 4mm size, so you can put in Weehaw bits if you wanted to swap yours out or whatever, if you didn't like these. Cool feature. I will say the magnet on this came out. So the one time I pulled out the glass breaker, I went like this, and the magnet was stuck to this. And all I did was I took some super glue, put a dot on the end of that magnet, popped this back in, and then pressed down and held it for a little while, you know, maybe 2 minutes. Then I let go, and then I just let this sit for a day, basically. You probably only need to let it sit for like an hour, 10 minutes maybe. And then I pulled it back out, and boom, it's glued back in, no problem. So wasn't a big deal. Just got to make sure you don't put too much glue that it spills out the sides and then sticks to this, and then you're gluing that thing in there, which, you know, unless you, well, if you want to use a driver, obviously you don't want to do that. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. That's kind of an inherent problem with these type of glued magnet designs, but there's really not a great way to put them in without making things more bulky. So I don't hold it against them. I fix magnets all the time for a lot of things, so no big deal. So really cool pen. It has this cool milling on it, kind of like a mesh look. I like that a lot, and it's pretty comfortable in the hand. Like I said, it's a little chunky for me, but it is very cool. And again, bottle opener down here. I haven't tested that, but you know, has a good claw there. Should be fine. Pocket clip for carry. And yeah, so I'll put a link down below to Aurora, to the pen here, so you can pick one up if you're interested. I don't believe it's an affiliate link or anything. They just sent me these. They sent me a couple. I gave one to a coworker, and I think I lost one actually. Probably somewhere in a bag or whatever. I took it to work. But very, very cool. The next one we have is from Woobin. This is the G5. So you might have seen these if you follow other channels, because a lot of guys had these and showed them off. This is a little pocket flashlight, and I think they're like 20 bucks. So I'm pretty sure they're advertising these at $19.99. I will put a link down below. I do have a Woobin affiliate link, so it helps the channel if you use that. If it's on Amazon, I'll link it there as well. If there's a discount code, I will put that as well, of course. And essentially what you have is something built off of their I think it was the X2 Pro platform. And I didn't love that because of the way they had like a tactile switch, and then they had this thing that you can kind of rotate up and down by hand. I don't know. That's just not my favorite concept, but this one's pretty cool. I mean, it's 20 bucks. You can rotate it. It looks like you can go almost 360 degrees. You can cover any area you need to, which is nice. You can set it up just like a regular flashlight where the light comes out the top like that. And you have a cool locking switch here. So you have locked on, and then you have charging. And the way that works is it's locked right now. Nothing works. There's a button here and then this switch or dial. And then you slot it over here, and now you can use the light. You can also pop it up here, and now the USB-C is fully exposed. It does work on this setting, so it's still unlocked at this point. It just isn't covering the port, and then again, locked. Very cool. Comes with a USB-C to A, and it comes with a little lanyard, which is cool as well. So to use it, what you do is you turn it on. You tap that button, and you get a RGB, which I really don't understand why we keep seeing these on lights. I get it. It has colors, but I don't need a 7 multicolor thing. I don't get it. But you guys let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Is anybody, like, do you need to have the RGB? I'd be fine with just red, or give me a UV instead. I don't know. I just find it very odd that this is what everybody's putting on their flashlights. To me, it's just a wasted space. You could have had a bigger LED in here. Just give me one bigger LED instead, you know? Because I will never use these colors for anything. Just being honest. But anyway, you have that once it's on. So you did one tap to turn it on, then you just hold and it will switch to the white light, which is what I would use. And then you can, again, dial up by dialing this way. So I guess on this side, it would be up. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. So it's almost set up for a lefty. Am I crazy? So up and then down. And when it does that blink, that means it is as bright as it can get or as dim as it can get. Okay, so you can keep rolling the wheel, but it's not going to do anything at that point. Interesting setup. They usually use pretty good LEDs. I don't have a brand or anything here. Apologies, but it's a, I'd say 5,000K, maybe 6,000, but it's one of the higher, one of the cooler lights. And then it's actually getting really hot right now, interestingly enough. I'll put it a little lower. But anyway, once that's on, you can double click and you can get turbo. So I can scroll all the way down to dim, double click, boom, full turbo. All right. This one's weird. From off, if you hold down, you get this blinking light thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to lie. I tried looking it up in the manual. Yes, I read the manual. I actually refilmed this because I wanted to actually know what I was talking about. And I could not find anything about this weird blinky light thing. Maybe it's a battery indicator. 6, 7, 8. So it blinked 8 times. I don't know. Maybe we have 8 out of 10 battery. I'm just guessing here. I thought it was UV because when I first did it, it was solid. It wasn't blinking, but now it just blinks. No idea. It's not a UV light, and yeah, I don't know what it is. So just sorry. Now, when you turn it back on, one click, it will go to the last setting. So if you had it on white light, it'll be white light. If you had it on RGB, then it will come back on RGB. If you have it off, you can double click and you will get a strobe thingy, and that will be in, I believe, the last color you used. And I don't think the dial does anything. You can change the color. So double click and you will get a different color. Now you get blue and red. Double click, you get red and green. Double click and you get red and whatever color that is. Those are different colors. That looks green, and so does this, but it's a different green. So, but yeah, if you have it on and you put it on, let's say like purple or something, and then, well, let's try. There's purple, and then I do the double tap. I'll now get a blinking purple light, if that makes sense. But then from there, you can double tap. Well, okay. So then you have to turn it off and do the double tap to get the colors that are preset. But if you want it to be a specific color, let's say you want it to do a beacon in this color, you would just put it on that, double tap, and then it'll stick to that color. I don't know. Pointless RGB stuff. But anyway, you have that. You also have what looks to be a pocket clip here that kind of seats down into there. It's kind of interesting how it works. Not sure how that would feel in pocket or anything, but maybe it would, you know, go on a pair of pants or something. I don't think it does anything else. And you have a magnet, which is nice. So it is magnetic. And then you have that lanyard slot. So that's the Woobin G5. Very cool. Interesting. I mean, 20 bucks. Kind of hard to beat, right? The next one is from SRM. This is a knife, obviously. They sent me this a little while ago, so I apologize to them for taking forever. But it's just kind of how it's going right now. And they asked if I wanted to check this out. I said sure, because I figure I can pass this around. Nice thumb flick. The springs are okay. This is an Axis style lock. We do have exposed liners, but it has their sort of system on it. I really do kind of like what they've been doing. They're doing like a steel integral like liner essentially. So they take a piece of steel and they bend it to make the liners. So what you have is the liners, and then you have this solid piece of steel along the spine, which creates the backspacer, right? They also have a separate little backspacer piece. And then the blade sits into that. So it's a very solid knife. It's very unique. I like that they do something different, right? That's really kind of the idea for me, is it's different. It is a crossbar lock, which is not my favorite, but it does work, and a lot of people like it. I like the blade. It's a nice little drop point. It's in D2 with a coated blade, which works. I will link these down below. 258L/GN is the model number on this one. Again, I don't think I have an affiliate link or anything for SRM. I will probably link it on Amazon if they have it on there. Nice contoured handles. Actually feels really good, guys. And their stuff is always affordable. So that is definitely a nice little touch. And they have a very cool clip system on their budget knives. I've only seen budget knives from them. But you have this sort of fork situation going on here. So you have this pocket clip. It's on the right side. All you have to do is squeeze. So you just pinch these and then push up. It's actually very stiff on this one. So... oh, there you go. You can pinch it at the top on this one. So you pinch it at the top. Ugh, that hurt. Let me grab something here. No. Yeah, there we go. Pinch. Let's see if we can get this. So, for some reason I can't get it, but usually the way it works is you pinch that, and then you just push up, and it pops out. And then you just pinch it and slot it in on the other side, and then you have a reverse clip. If I had more time here, I would sit here and figure it out. You just need to clamp that. Pinch it. Maybe you just need to pinch it more. Let me try that. Put some pressure on it, and then give it a firmer pinch. Ugh. I don't know how much more I could pinch it. There we go. All right. So just needed a little bit more effort. If you're not a bizacch like me, you'll be fine. So you just do that, and then what I do is, because you can't just push it in, I just use this lip right here to give it a little bit of a tension, and then use my hand there, and you just slot it in, and then push down, pop in, boom. Now you have a left-handed knife, essentially, because it is a crossbar lock, so it's a super ambidextrous platform. I do think that's really cool. SRM is doing cool stuff. This coating actually looks really nice. It's PVD, but it's very clean. Whoa. I like how that looks. Stay ready for more. SRM. Should be SRFM, but whatever. Yeah, I like this a lot. G10 handles. Just simple, yet effective. Very nice from SRM. Great job. Is there any information on the box? Here you go. If you want to do anything with that, I will link it down below. Shout out to SRM. Thank you very much for sending this my way. And I will be passing that around. Now, the last couple things are from a company I've shown you guys a bunch of stuff from that's called Rolling Square. This is more of a tech company, so just something a little different. This is their MagSafe car mount. And then I also have a pocket travel charger. They hit me up and asked if I want to check anything out, and I'm actually heading to Europe this summer with my daughter to visit my brother who lives there, and that will come in handy. But first I'll show you this. You have this ring. You can mount this to your phone if you don't already have MagSafe. But essentially the way it works is very simple. There's nothing under here, I'm pretty sure. I'm just checking. Yep, nothing. So the way it works is you have a phone, iPhone with MagSafe. It magnetizes to the back of your phone. Super awesome. MagSafe is, well, the coolest thing. I use it all the time. And if you're interested, this case is also awesome. This is from MagBack. This is their Elite case. And by golly, it is elite. It is the best case on the planet. I would get the black one or a gray one or something. The white one discolors instantly, so don't get that one. I think they even discontinued it. But it has this cool loop, so you can actually finger loop, but you can tuck it away easily, and you still have MagSafe. Never seen that on another case. It has extra strong magnets right here, so you can slap this on a fridge. I actually slap it on my pool coping, and then I can watch Phillies games while I'm in the pool with the kids. It has a kickstand up here that you can set, and then boom, you have a kickstand, which is awesome. It has a pinky pillow, so if you don't want to get iPhone finger on your pinky, you just have that in there, and then it rests on your pinky, which is nice. It has extra grips here, and you can change colors out. You can buy kits, so you can get different colored buttons and these things like the protective areas. And it's not any thicker than their standard classic MagBack case, which is not thick at all. It does all that, and it's not super thick or heavy. It's the best case on the planet. You can fight me on that if you want. If you're an iPhone person, check it out. If you're Android, I think they're starting to make them for those as well. But anyway, I'll link them. I do have a 15% discount code for MagBack. I think it's just LeftyEDC, but it could be like LeftyEDC 15 or something. Best case on the planet. I will keep saying it. I reached out to them to get a code, and then they sent me some more stuff. But I already bought a bunch of their cases. I love their stuff. Okay, back to Rolling Square. This thing just slaps onto your MagBack spot, and then this goes into your vent on your car. I struggle with that because my truck, it's an F-150, has like vents that just don't like these type of things. So I've never had one work. I will test it out and see how it goes. It just has two pieces, and they clamp together at the end, which is nice. Sometimes they have four, and I think that's too many parts. Feels like really solid rubber, so it does feel solid. When I asked to check this out, I did think it was a charger. So I thought there was like a little USB-C here or something. I guess in the picture they just had the phone plugged in, and then this was slapped on. But I actually used the magnets that came with this case. MagBack will send you, or you can buy extra little, they're called mag sticks. They're literally this long and this thin. They're tiny. And you can mount them anywhere that you can put adhesive. And then these magnetic strips will line up. These magnets actually come out of here. Try to show you. So they come out of the case, and then they get pulled back in when you're not using them. It's super cool. That's how they kept it so thin. And I just have those strips all over the place. I have them on my walls. I have one in my shower. I have one in my truck. Just mounted right above the stereo system or whatever that thing's called. And boom, I just slap it on there, and it's super strong magnets. These are the strongest magnets you'll find on a case. Trust me, hands down. So, back to Rolling Square and the pocket travel charger. So this is the thing I was really excited about, because any travel chargers I've had. Again, I'm just going to check. Don't think anything's under here. I've been fooled before, so I just try to be careful. Every other one of these travel chargers I've had is absolutely enormous. And this is not big at all. This is very small, right? I mean, like, here's just a bit driver. Like, it's pretty standard size. Here's that G5, which is a very small pocket flashlight. So you have a USB-C port down here, PD 30 watt, which is nice. And then you have a sliding John piece here, and it locks into place. And then you click and pull down. This is going to be your US plug, obviously. And then you have, behind it here, you have a European plug. So this will work in Germany, the Netherlands, which is where I'm going. And that is awesome. Looks like there is some other stuff going on here. I think there's this guy. I don't know what that is. Can't use both at once. So that's nice. They don't let you use both at once, which is cool. So maybe that's just the locking feature right there. See if there's anything else on the box that I need. Oh, no. See, there's like this little hook thingy. So maybe that's for the UK or something? Charge your portable devices anywhere in the world with 4 plugs in one product. Oh, okay. So let's count. This is EU, like we said. This is US, right? Now it's showing, isn't it showing that third prong on there? So is that what this thing acts as? Let me see, there's a little tab right here. Ah, so here you go. So I guess you could use this as that third prong if you needed to for whatever reason. But in the US, you can just put 2 prongs in a 3 prong. So I would just use it like this, right? So then in the UK, oh, dude, they turn. Look at that. What? So watch. Now, I am rocking a, is it Australia? Yeah. Australia has the angled one. So boom, you got Australia covered right now. And then UK has them sideways. Now, how do you go sideways? Close this. Slot that down. So you can, wait. No, okay. So that's just locking that. Does this come apart? No. I'm trying to figure out the UK one. So you see the UK one has them sideways. Just trying to figure out, am I a dummy? That's partially sideways, but not all the way. Can they come out further and then turn? Huh. Does this open something? What am I missing? They're so clever that it's almost too clever. I can't figure it out. I almost want to see if it pulls apart. It almost seems like it does, but... So, let's just check it out, guys. Let's see. There's a QR code. Let me scan that and just... But I do have a 20% discount code for Rolling Square, which is awesome. So you can use that. I think it's LeftyEDC 20. So they don't have a thing up yet on it. Maybe I got this early. So I was just checking out their website. So that must have been where I found it though, right? So charging, we'll get there, don't worry. Pocket travel charger, okay. All right, here we go. So US, So for the UK, see, it tricked me. It made it look like I was going to be using flat ones. But it says 49 plus countries, UK, Ireland, Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Nigeria, whatever. So this will work. So basically for the US, you just use this. And then if you want to use it in the UK or those other countries, you just open this up. And now that will slot in and these will work as is. I guess that's what, or not these, sorry. These. I guess they're thin enough that they'll fit into the slot. I don't know. But they're saying it'll work. So, and then if you're in Australia, you shut this down. This is EU. And again, Australia, you pop these up and you turn those sideways and boom, you're good to go. That is super cool. Very, very cool. So, and they're $30. All their stuff is super affordable. So $30 and you get 20% off with my code LeftyEDC20. So, I mean, you're talking about $24 and you get a very compact travel charger that'll work anywhere in the world. So, I think that's pretty sweet. They also have a 2-port version. So, they have one that has USB-A and USB-C, if that's important to you. I got the 1-port version because it's a 30-watt port versus 2 at 20 watts, if that makes sense. So I think it just maxes out at 20. I don't know if it's an older version, and then they have a new one that's 30 watt with 1 plug, which is plenty for me. What I would do is plug this into my my 3-in-1 charger thing, and then I would put my phone, my watch, and my AirPods on there, and I could charge those at night, and then anything I needed to charge randomly throughout the day, I'd have the 1 port for. It'd be perfect. So that's awesome. So there you go, guys. That's just some stuff I thought you guys would want to check out. You have from Rolling Square. Again, you can use the code LeftyEDC20 there. Links are all going to be in the description. The travel charger, sick. I'm definitely getting one of these for my mom. And I might get a couple, give one to my brother or something like that. They're super affordable and it's just a cool gift. And then I'll keep one for when I go with my kiddo in the summer. But the travel charger, and then you have the MagSafe mount for your car. Just a mount. It doesn't charge anything, but then you can plug your phone in, have it up on the dash. You have the Woobin G5 flashlight, pocket flashlight, $20. I mean, that's pretty sick right there. We have the SRM knife, which is really cool. Has that super ambidextrous setup where you can reverse the clip very easily. And then we have the Aurora pen, which is in titanium. It has a bunch of cool features and options on it. And yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Really curious if you guys are RGB people. I want to know because I think these brands need to know that nobody gives a about RGB. We just want better lights, right? I don't know. I would just rather have a bigger, brighter 1 LED in there. Or just more battery. I don't know. I just find it weird. But that's it. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will catch you later. Peace.